Abia, as we prepare to go into your language and your cultural study, we pray that you will open the minds and of understanding. We pray that you bless the Mori with the teaching of your language, as well as the hearers. We pray that you allow us to retain your language, that we may have a better understanding of what you are trying to convey unto us. Blessed be Yahuwah, creator on earth. Blessed be the name of Yahuwah, creator on earth. And blessed who comes to the name of Yahuwah, creator on earth. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Amen. Amen. All right, Mr. Bakar, in the cultural portion today, we're going to be mixing quite a bit together. We're going to be practicing the reading as well as going into a cultural topic all in one. And I would like to just encourage everyone to continue each week to practice your letter recognition, vowel recognition, writing them 10 times each a day, saying them out loud so that you can retain them and remember them. Because now at the level I'm about to start increasing to, because at this point, everyone should at least be able to identify the letters as well as the vowels and recognize them when they see them. Again, this portion is not a mandatory Hebrew class, because I will be doing a different Hebrew class at some point in the future, most high willing, which will be for those who want to actually sign up for a detailed Hebrew class. This is just a basic, so everyone can look at the words in the text, be able to identify and know what's actually written. And so we're going to be moving kind of at a little bit of a faster pace, because as I said before, this is going to be a basic to intermediate class where those that have already been studying the language, as well as those that just got introduced to the language, will be kind of having this class together. So it's kind of it was a slow down pace. It's about to be a pick back up pace with a lot of reviewing constantly throughout. So today we're going to be going into the cultural portion. Give me one moment. Let me get my screen back together. What was it? What happened to the Zoom? All right, can everyone see my screen at the moment?
And I can see it.
Okay, hallelujah. All right, just want to make sure we can see it clearly. All right, so today we're going to be starting off, as a matter of fact, give me one more moment. Let me stop this for a moment. It'll be easier to do it two different ways. Let me do it easier way. All right. So we're going to be starting off today with a little reading. So I'll be going to the book of Tehillim, which is going to be the book of Psalms, chapter 102. All right. Shah, I believe you still have your mic unmuted. If you wouldn't mind, could you mute your mic for us?
Okay.
Toda. All right. So what we're going to be going into today for a part of our cultural study is going to be, this is going to be a vocabulary word or a couple of vocabulary words. So if y'all would please write the vocabulary words down in both Hebrew and English so that you can retain and remember them, because that's one way that you're going to learn to start reading the language. What we've been doing thus far is identifying the letters, identifying the vowels, and trying to pronounce words. And we've also done some light sentence reading without actually interpreting what we've been reading. We've just been practicing the reading, which is a start. But at some point, you know, we're going to want to know what we're reading. And the only way to know what we're reading is we're going to have to broaden our vocabulary in Hebrew. So in order to broaden your vocabulary in Hebrew, we're taking it 1 or 2 words at a time, depending on what the topic is. So the study for the day, the cultural portion for the day is going to be on tefillah. Does anyone know what tefillah is? All right, Nathan, what do you have? Can't hear you, Nathan, if you're speaking. Your mic must be turned off because it's not coming through. Did anyone else hear him?
No.
I hear you from in the room, Nathan, but I can't hear you on the screen for some reason. Get right in front of your computer screen and say it. No, I'm gonna let somebody else do it, Nathan, but you go into the settings and check your mic settings. Or maybe log out and log back in. That'll probably work. Shashamar, what do you have?
So, and I would say, prayer, communication between the servant and the Most High, normally asking for something or, seeking better understanding of something.
All right. So what I was looking for was prayer. All right. So this is going to be one of your Hebrew vocabulary words is going to be prayer. And here it is in Hebrew. All right. So the very first word on the book of Psalms 102 and 1 is tefillah. Tefillah. You can spell it with the F or with the PH, and remember the letters because of what's written here, the Tav, and then you have that Pei or Fe, so you see where they spelled it either with the F here or the P here. So tefillah. So if y'all would write it down in English, the transliterated English form, which is tefillah, and then also write down the Hebrew characters that make up the word tefillah, so you'll be able to remember it for your Hebrew reading, which is going to be Tav, Pei or Fe, Lamed, Hey. Okay, tefillah. So as Shashmar was saying, tefillah is prayer. Okay, it's prayer, and it's from the Strong's H8605. So when you go back to look into it further for yourself, it is the Strong's number H8605, H8605, and it says intercession, supplication. All right. And it comes from the root word, and this is the other word I want y'all to get today, is going to be, actually, I'm going to let someone in the room, palau, palau. Palau is the root word of the word tefillah. Palau is the word for pray or intercede. Tefillah is prayer or prayers, all right? So write this one down to remember also palau, which is going to be Pei of Fe, Lamed, Lamed, all right? And can everybody see it pretty much clearly so y'all can see the vowel points and everything that goes with it so you can write it down on both of them? Is anyone having trouble seeing the screen?
A little bit, because I have a small screen. Can you just blow it up just a little bit, please?
Let me see. Is there any way of blowing it up?
If not, don't worry. I could try to blow up my screen. Oh, no, you don't have to. I could just zoom in on my screen.
Okay.
So,
All right. So culturally, in the cultural portion that we want to go into today is that our forefathers were people that were going to pray. Prayer was a big part of our walk. Okay. And so what I want to go into is breaking it down because, I'm going into the series on prayer. So what we need to understand is culturally that prayer is going to be a communication between us and the Father. And there's different ways of praying, but we need to learn exactly what prayer actually is. So you see that it says here, prayer, house of prayer. And then it tells you here, intercession or supplication. So one thing Zakane Herman always used to tell us to do is look up words that we think that we know. So the word supplicate, it means to pray humbly, make humble and earnest entreaty or petition, to seek or ask for by humble entreaty. to seek or ask for by humble entreaty. So what we're looking at is in the cultural portion is understanding that to an ancient Hebrew, one of the most important parts of our walk was going to be how to communicate with the Creator, and that was going to be by prayer. Yes, lifestyle and all that is going to be very important for our prayers to be heard, but we need to know how to call out to our Father, and we need to develop a prayer life, because culturally, our forefathers, the righteous ones, they had a prayer life, and prayer was very much a part of the culture where they would always reach out to the Creator. They prayed different times throughout the day. You know, they had morning prayer, noon prayer, evening prayer, and then there was those that prayed even more than that. So they had prayer hours, which is something that we have to return to. And it's not just a, oh, well, I'm gonna pray this one time a day. We should be praying throughout the day, because customarily, that is what the Hebrews did. And as we go through the lesson on prayer, I'll be covering a little bit more of that aspect in detail. But for right now, I just want us to understand that the word for prayer in Hebrew for your vocabulary is tefillah. Tefillah. And tefillah is spelled tav, pei, lamad, hey, all right? And it is prayer, and it comes from the Strong's number H8605. Prayer explanation is going to be intercession, supplication. And the word that I just defined for everybody was supplicate, and supplicate means to pray humbly, make a humble, earnest entreaty or petition, to seek or ask for by humble entreaty, to pray humbly, to entreat or petition humbly. So everything within the word prayer itself, humble is within that word. We can't pray to the Most High any kind of way. So when our forefathers fell on their knees, they humbled their hearts. It's a certain feeling that they went before the Most High with also. They couldn't go. Now, some of them went with pride, and that's why their prayers didn't get heard. But we can't go before the Most High demanding, commanding, feeling like we're deserving of anything. We must humble ourselves out and entreat him in a very earnest, a very sincere, and a very humble manner, because this is what the forefathers understood with how to communicate with the Creator. Okay, so another word that's there that we're going to define is going to be intercession. Okay, so intercession is an act or instance of interceding is one, and then another one is interposing or pleading on behalf of another person, a prayer to Elohim or God on behalf of another person. So there's supplicating. Supplicate is what we do on our behalf. Intercession is something that we do on the behalf of someone else. So as we was reading in the word last night, when we seen Elijah, when he prayed for the young man or for the woman's son, he was doing intercessory prayer. He was praying to the Most High on the behalf of that child for the soul to be returned to that child. But what we can also see by the way he prayed, he went in a humble mannerism. He went to his Elohim, Yah, my Elohim. He wanted Yah to hear his prayer. If it's your will, please return the boy's soul unto his body. So he humbled himself, and he went to the Most High in a very humble mannerism of supplicating, and he did an intercessory prayer because he was praying on the behalf of someone else. So customarily, this also a part of what our forefathers did was when they prayed, they would pray on the behalf of others. So what I want us to remember right now is the words tefillah, which is the word prayer, which comes from the root word palau, which is the word pray. All right. So remember that, and we're gonna go back to the Psalms for a moment, the very first verse. Now here's where our Hebrew reading practice begins. Do I have a volunteer reader that wants to read verse 1? And just for you to try to get your letter recognition, word recognition, you don't have to try to know what the word is, but being able to sound out the words. And again, for the sake of time, when we own, if we can volunteer as soon as possible, so that we do not carry over on the time, as I would like to cover all the material. So do we have any volunteer? All right, Shah Shamar.
So I'll give it a try. All right. So we have Tapilaha. Tapila.
So that's one that you shouldn't have got wrong, Adon. this is the word we've just been talking about. So that is going to be
Tefillah.
Tefillah. And
Tefillah.
so what I want us to look at is, you see this vowel right here, these two dots?
Towards
That's
the
the
center, yeah.
vowel that we're going to be covering today. That's one we didn't cover yet. So we're going to be covering this vowel today. But right now, I want us to focus on the cultural part. So it says Tefillah. Okay, read on.
La'ani.
Okay.
That is
No.
I.
No. What's this letter here?
That is Kof.
So what sound does it make? What letter does it represent?
It makes the that throat sound.
No, not necessarily a throat sound. It can be a little throaty, but that's not what we're focusing on. What letter in transliteration does it represent?
Oh, you mean the vowel?
No, I'm talking about the consonant.
Consonant. Oh, the CH?
CH or K, right?
Okay, you're right.
So you have the CH or K with this vowel pronounced afterwards. What sound do you have?
Key.
Key. Okay, good job. Key. Okay.
I guess I've been pronouncing it wrong.
Yes.
Key. All right. Yay.
Not yay. What that does represent a Y, but what sound does the batak make? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Stu. Oh, what's that? Tube.
Almost right. That's not a toot, but it's a, what does a holum make? So you
Toe.
okay.
So, oh yeah, that O.
Mhm.
We have Bali.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bali. Pan. Nay. Balipane. Yeah. Yaha. All right. Vaha.
Okay, so that's what they normally have, but it's what you normally call the Father, which is going to be,
Yava.
no, what do you normally call the Most High?
Yeah.
In long form that you normally use in pronunciation, what do you normally pronounce it as?
Yeah.
No, no, what's the name that you call the Most High?
Oh, Yahweh or Yehovah.
Okay, so I want you to see it. So this is going to be either Yahweh, Yahuwah. Okay, so that's what that is. I want you to recognize that. So anytime you see the Yod, Hey, Wah, that's what it is. And I'll explain later when we do a study on the name why the pronunciation changes between some, how they pronunciate it. But I just want you to recognize that that's what you were seeing now. This is the name of the creator written right here. So Yahuwah, Yahweh, whichever dialect one is more familiar with, all right?
We have Yeshet. Yeshaput. Let's start again.
Start over. You have Ye what?
Yeshet.
That's not a segal here, but that's so you know that this normally will have more of a sha sound. So it's either going to be
short sound.
And it's going to be a little shorter. So you're not going to put too much emphasis on the sha. So it'll be more like sh, but not she. Okay. Yesha.
Yesha. Yisha, Yisha Peck, Yisha Peck.
Right, I got a vowel point up here.
Oh, Yisha Poke.
Okay. What we have here?
Okay.
Mhm.
She Hawk.
No, look at this letter again. That's not a hey.
Oh,
That's the throaty. That's
throat
kind of,
sound.
yes.
She Hawk. She Hawk.
No, there's no H sound. You switch into an H sound. There's no H. This yod right here is taking on this vowel right here. So you have,
Okay.
and look at where the vowel point is, not the vowel point, but look where the dot is over this one. So remember, the right side will be a shin, the left side will be a sin. So you
Right.
have
Okay.
C
She
cool.
Cool.
See Cole, Shlika, because they put a hole in while. See Cole.
Cool.
All right. Good job, Shy. Real quick volunteer for verse 2. All right, Scrivens family, the floor is yours.
Okay. So Yahuwah Shah Shama.
Okay, come on.
Uh,
You see how you say that though? you kind of recognize that word. That's how it be when you start to recognize the word, right? All right.
That's a pay. Tefillah. Let. To fill it? What?
All right, remember? Consonant vowel, consonant vowel, consonant vowel, consonant vowel. That's how the syllables break it down. So do it again.
So that's a short sound. So
What sound does this dot make?
E.
Okay, so now what would a T and an E make sound?
T.
Okay, now take it from the top.
Tefillah T.
Tefillah T.
Wash. Wet.
No, take it. Remember, consonant vowel, consonant vowel, consonant vowel. So each time you see a consonant and a vowel, that's a syllable. So you don't have to try to join the sounds together. You pronounce the consonant vowel sound by itself, consonant vowel sound by itself, consonant vowel sound by itself, and then this one is going to transition at this point. All right.
Okay. Is that a holum?
So what now?
Is that a holum?
No. Remember, on the shin, on the right side of the dot is going to tell you that's SH. On the left side, there's a dot over this particular letter. It's going to tell you to pronounce it as an S only.
Okay. So washa. Wati.
Nope, you missed this vowel right here. Remember, even though this is represented as silent, you still will pronounce the vowel sound here. So it's something that comes in front of the T. What comes in front of the T?
Washa. Ati.
Yep.
Okay.
No, not love. What vowel sound is made?
Is it E?
Yeah, it is an E, but it makes it's the E as in bed. So the sound
Okay. Ale.
Ale.
Ale. Oh, that's a final form or something. I don't remember.
Yes. I'll help you out. It's not the Dalit. It looks like a Dalit, but it's a final form of what? That's not a Dalit.
Kaf.
Ka. Not Alecha. Ka.
Alecha. Okay.
One last word.
Ta. Tav.
So remember, you have consonant, vowel, consonant. So this is now the vowel. That's what's throwing you off. Because you don't have a vowel point under here. Remember this letter, when it falls into a place where there should have been a vowel sound, you see it has a holum. This is a holum Y. So this right here is the vowel. So consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel.
So ta. Oh.
Ta-bo or tabo.
How.
Tabo.
Oh.
Without the dot, they call that a vet. With the dot, they call it a bet, but generally I always pronounce it as a bet. But for the sake of us recognizing it, being all things to all people, that would be tabo. Good job, good job, good job. And I like the way you got real excited when you recognize Shema. But that's what this is about. As we practice and as we're saying, as we build vocabulary, you start to recognize as you're going through. For a time, we're going to be calling words, but as we're pronouncing the sounds out, you're going to start hearing words that you know. You're going to be like, like you was excited. You like Shema? I'm like, yep, that's what it is. All right. So for all those that just tuned in, quick review on this particular portion. What it actually says in English is a prayer of the afflicted when he fainteth and poureth out his complaint before Yahuwah. Oh Yahuwah, and this is the line that Tamia was just doing when she got to this word, even though she didn't recognize it at first, and she started sounding it out. She said, Shema, Shema, she got hyped. Yes, because it says Yahuwah, oh Yahuwah, hear. Yahuwah hear. And as we was going over the word for prayer, it's going to be tefillah, as here on the first line. Tefillah is prayer. So when Tamia was translating this one, or when she was sounding this one out, what threw her off was it started off the very same way. Tefillah. What that is saying is hear my prayer. So a yod at the end of a word is making something personal. Like pani is my face, So tefillah is my prayer. So Yahuwah, Shema, tefillah, please hear my prayer. So we're seeing that this customary for them to pray to the Most High, and when they pray to the Most High, as we're going to be going into further in the lesson, but just for the cultural portion, prayer was very much a part of the Hebrew culture and custom is something that we've done. And how to pray, we're seeing here from examples of righteous forefathers, Yahuwah, which is the creator, Shema, tefillah, hear my prayer. So they were asking the Most High to please hear their prayer. And it said the prayer of an afflicted. So as an afflicted, when he fainteth and poureth out his complaint before Yah. So when we're going through troubles, when we have complaint, we have to pour it out. We have to let it go. So tefillah, as we went into, is going to also come from the root word palau, but it is to intercede. Intercession is two of the other words, a supplication. So to supplicate is to humbly. So whenever we're in affliction, we can't come before the Most High boldly like, y'all do this for me. We have to humbly. The word for intercede is actually, or for supplicate, is going to tell you to, I'm not intercede. The word for supplicate is to pray to the God. In the dictionary, it's going to be pray to God humbly. So when we're praying to the Most High, there needs to be humility in our heart and in our words to the Creator. So therefore, the mindset of how we ask, the way we formulate our sentences should always be in a form or a matter of submission to the Creator as we're asking him or we're pouring out our complaint before him. All right, we're going to drop that verse and we're going to jump back to Bereshit or Genesis Genesis chapter 2. This bar is down. Can I move it? That's for sure. Y'all don't see that bar, do you? Oh, that's not chapter 2. The bar was. Why these bars keep popping up? Actually, got Genesis chapter 20 is where we're going. So I'm going to read it in English first. It says, and Elohim said unto him in a dream, yeah, I know that in the simplicity of your heart, thou hast done this, and I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now, therefore, restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for you, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know that thou shalt surely die, you and all that are thine. All right. So basically, what we have here is that the Most High is telling the Pharaoh when he had Abraham's wife that, look, I did not allow you to sin so that I would have to put you to death. But now what I want you to know is this man that I sent before you, he is a prophet of Elohim. He's a prophet of me. And so, the reason why Abraham told the king of Egypt at that time that she was his sister is because he said they did not know God or they did not know Elohim. So he feared how that they don't know the creator, they wouldn't honor certain rules and regulations. So of course, we know in this particular text that the Most High came to him by way of a dream to let him know you better not touch that woman, made him scared to touch the woman, and he let her know this was his wife. But what I wanted to go to is another root word that I told y'all about earlier, which is going to be here. And for the sake of time, we're not going to get all the reading because I have another text that I want us to read quickly. So here we have, of course, when you're reading in Hebrew, the root word that we're looking for here is the pei lamed lamed. All right, pei lamed lamed, which is going to give us the root word palau. Palau, again, is another one of your vocabulary words that I want you to write down. Palau is the root word of where prayer comes from. All right. And so we see here, bear with me one moment, let me move this bar again. All right. So when we look at the word palau, is to intervene, to interpose, to pray, to meditate. So when you go down here, it is to entreat, judgment, to pray or praying, supplication, by extension to intercede. So we can see this is the root word of the word tefillah. The word tefillah is the word we just covered in the book of Tehillim, chapter 102, where it's saying prayer. So the word prayer, but we also have the word pray. So the root word for prayer is pray, which still means the same thing. It means to entreat, to pray, to supplicate. And again, we went into the word for intercession and supplication. Supplication is to humbly entreat the Most High, to pray to God humbly. All right. So when we're doing these words, we have to understand that from the ancients' mindset, they knew how to go before the Creator and the heart they had to have to go before the Creator, because prayer was a part of their custom. And one way that made prayer accustomed to other nations, or for them to even know a little bit more about prayer, you see here, he was told this particular king, now therefore restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for you, and you shall live. And if you restore her not, know that thou shalt surely die, you and all that are thine. So we're seeing here that now this Gentile nation realized that there's one true living power whose name is Yah, and Abraham was a servant or a prophet of the Most High Yah, and the wife that you have is his wife. So now you need to go to that man and give her back, and he shall pray for you. So it was even custom for us to pray for others when they've done something in obedience to the Creator. And so they were also instructed to pray for these Gentiles. And we see this here. So before I go forward, I just want someone to pronounce this one word, if you could, all together. And we're gonna move on to the next text. For the sake of time, we're not gonna read this because these verses are long. But I would like for somebody just to read this word. Give it a shot. No volunteer? Okay, Shah Shamar.
Okay, let's see, we get
We got two participants. Who was the other one? Let me let Nathan try, Shah, since you've already did one. Then let me let Nathan.
okay, no problem.
All right. Hold on, Nathan. I got to move the stuff off the screen so I can get back to it. All right. Go ahead, Nathan. Now we're going to have to check your sound, Nathan, because if you're speaking, we don't hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you, Nathan. Okay, Shah, go ahead and give it a shot. I don't know what's going on with his sound today.
Yeah. Vayi Tape Raya Raye La.
All
Let me
right.
try it again.
Oh, yeah, start from top.
So, okay. Vayi, okay. Vayi Tape Lay.
Okay. So remember, we just went over the word Palau, right? And
Right.
it's kind of hard to pronounce sometimes. So remember, sometimes they pronounce this as a P or as a F sound, right? The PH or F sound. So you have Y-T, Y-Y-Ta-Fa, and they have this here as Lael, but it's actually the root word is Palau. So you have Wayita Fa Lael is what they have here, but the root word is actually, you see the vowel point, how it's vowel pointed here. It's vowel pointed with a patak here, whereas it's vowel pointed with a tesserae here, but that's gonna be the word for Palau, okay? But thank you for your boldness, always stepping up, Shah.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of have a question. So that first letter you pronounce, that's a vowel, right?
I don't pronounce them as vowel. That's the
okay.
sound.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense now. Because I was pronouncing also a V. Okay.
Yeah. So according to a lot of the modern speakers, that they use the more of the Yiddish sounding language and the Germanic vowel points and stuff like that. So they said va, but I still use
that would explain, the sound you got when I read the Most High's name earlier.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why when you see people have Jehovah, they're getting the Jehovah because they're pronouncing the vav as a vav, whereas in of the ancient, it would have been the wow, which would make the W sound. So that's why you're seeing when some people say Jehovah, it's not really that Jehovah is as wicked as people are trying to make it out to be. It would just be more, as you hear some of the brothers say Yehovah, because they're pronouncing the Yehovah, Jehovah. It's the same, pretty much the same thing. But that'll be something when we go into a name study that I'll go into in more detail. Akoti Shaquan, I seen you with your hand raised. Do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So with the and that word with the lamed, that second to last lamed, I see two vowel points. So that's why I get confused at, because I seen it in the Tav too, like the dot in the middle and then a vowel point at the bottom. So
Okay.
I just want to know why. So
all right, yeah. So right now, when we're doing, don't worry about all the extra stuff. Just worry about what you've seen, because this right here is actually not necessarily a vowel point. I'll discuss these. Remember when I was talking about Beged Nefet letters? You might not remember that or not. Do you remember that Beged?
Yeah, I remember the pay and the fade, that one has the dot, one don't, to do.
Okay. So you see the dot here, you see a dot here, and they're throwing a dot here. Sometimes even I don't know why they add all these extra dots and things, but we'll discuss it later. So the vowel is actually going to be here that you would recognize here.
Okay, so thank you, Toda. It makes
Yeah.
sense now.
And it's still going to throw you, and still what I want you to realize too is that sometimes you see how when Tamia recognized as she was sounding out Shema, she recognized it. Sometimes you won't even recognize words that you know, because when they're switching the vowel points, where you see here where this will be Palau, right? Look how they have it switched here. They have the dot here, but in the root there is no dot, right? And they have the Quemets here, Patak here, whereas the Quemets and Patak make the same sound. However, they have Tesseri here, where at the root of this word is going to be a Patak, which is going to be Palau. So sometimes when you're pronouncing it, the pronunciation changes, and that's something we get to way down the line. Right now, we're trying to recognize the root words, and add. So again, add Palau and Tefillah to your vocabulary, and Tefillah is prayer. Palau is pray, which is the root word of Tefillah. All right.
Thank you, Toda, for that explanation.
Great question. Great question. So we're going to move on to one last script because in the lesson that we're going to be going into today, we're going to be talking about the history of prayer a little bit. So like I said, since this is cultural, I'm just wanting to show in our cultural portion how prayer was a cultural part of our forefathers' daily business. So, but for the sake of Hebrew reading practice, we're going to read one more verse. I'm going to have a volunteer to read verse 26, a volunteer to read verse 26 of Bereshit. What you want to read? Okay. All right. So Zamira says she wants to read. All right. Put it here. I can't use the pointer because I got to put it where you can put yourself, and I can't control the pointer for you because. So control the pointer yourself.
Okay.
No. 26 starts right here.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ulashe.
Pronounce it all.
Ulashe.
It's another letter there, right?
Oh, Ulashate.
Good.
Gam. Ha'u.
No, ha'u.
Who.
Mm-hmm.
While.
There's no Y there.
Oh, I forgot it. Ooh, what is this? The O, the double O?
Yes, the double O sound.
Whoa.
Where's the woe coming from? That's a yo there. That's still a vowel that goes up beneath it. That's a ya on top of it. So that's a yo. So what sound would it make?
Yo.
Okay.
Yola. Yo lied.
Mm-hmm.
Bane.
Mm-hmm.
Why ye cry.
Mm-hmm.
Et.
Mm-hmm.
Shamo.
Mm-hmm.
And ain.
No, it's not an aim.
And
Okay.
and woe.
No.
And woes.
No. Go back. Consonant, vowel, consonant. Consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel.
Oh, and
remember when there's not a when there's not a vowel symbol under this, you have to remember the yod and the wa would sometimes take on a vowel sound. So if there was no vowel sound under here, this has to make a vowel sound here. So hold on, so start over.
and no.
Okay, finish it.
And nos.
Okay.
As.
Not as.
Eh.
What sound is Quemet's name? Okay, so I'll say
As.
Mm-hmm.
U.
It's not gonna be a ha. Remember, consonant, vowel. You don't see a vowel up under the ha. So then that's gonna be the vowel sound right there.
Who.
Mm-hmm.
Who. How.
Look at it. Go back.
Who call.
Mhm.
Lee.
You're blocking yourself by putting the thing on it. That's why I do it underneath, so you can still see what you're reading.
Lee Crow. Is that right? Lee Crow.
Lee Quara.
Lee Crow.
Mhm.
Shame.
Mhm.
Yahuwah.
Mhm. All right. So, Mr. Ricard, I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit. So we have here what's being said is, and to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enosh. Then began men to call upon the name of Yah. Right. So so as I'm going to this cultural portion, we're seeing that all the way back during the time of Seth, men began to call on the name of Yah. So what does it mean to call on the name of Yah? Calling on the name of Yah is something we're going to see in today's lesson. That's going to be they're calling out to the Creator. They didn't just call Yah's name, but they was calling on Yah. They was calling upon Yah. They was praying to Yah. So historically, it goes way back for our forefathers that was calling on the name of the Most High. It goes back to Abraham. It goes back before Abraham, that customarily this was something in the culture that would be done to know the call on the Creator. And as we come forward in the text, as we get more into the Torah, and as it comes into Abraham, we will see more of the details of how people called out to the Most High. But I just wanted to be known that, for one, in Bereshit chapter 4 and 26, is letting us know the name of Yah already existed way back in the beginning before the flood, because it says, and to Seth, and to him also were born a son, and he called his name Enosh. Then began man to call upon the name of Yah. And so this is following the lineage of Seth. All right. So again, I just wanted us to get some basic reading in while we were discussing this particular topic. So does anyone have any questions before we get ready to close out?
I just had one, so should we start reading like the passages in Hebrew just to get a better understanding, and where can we find that at? I don't know. Maybe other people know. I don't know.
Yes. Well, I was gonna give you I was gonna try to find I'll go online first myself to try to see, because some of the books that we have gotten very expensive. When I say expensive, these people, they know we're waking up, so they're making things that we might have paid $20 for, be hundreds of dollars. But but I will go on. One thing that we use a lot that I would encourage you all to get is a Hebrew reader. I know back when I got mine, I probably paid $15-20 for it. I know I've seen them recently. You may pay about $25 to $30 for it, but it's called a Hebrew reader. The Hebrew reader is going to have all the verses in the text, and down at the bottom of the page is going to give you what certain keywords that you would utilize in the text, or some of the not even so keywords that you can look down to the bottom of the page, and you can see the words, the Hebrew word over the actual English word. But your page, the verse is going to be totally in English, so you won't have to. Not in English. It's going to be totally in Hebrew, so you can do your practice Hebrew reading. Another thing that I utilize is going to be a Ben Yehuda Bible Dictionary. Ben Yehuda Bible Dictionary, and we'll get these list of books posted at some point. If someone can post it in the chat now as I'm saying it, that would be a help. So one of them is going to be the Hebrew Reader, and another one is Ben Yehuda. That's Ben Yehuda, Yehudah. Ben Yehuda Hebrew English Dictionary, and the Ben Yehuda Hebrew English Dictionary is about $7. That is one I still don't think they went up on. So what that does is, when you're actually reading in your Hebrew reader, if there's a word that has not been given to you in the text, then you will go back into the Hebrew reader, and the Hebrew reader is set up from Hebrew to English and English to Hebrew. So if you want to look up an English word, you will look from the left side of the book back towards the right side. If you want to look up a Hebrew word, you will look up from the right side of the book back towards the left, because it's going to be alphabetical order in opposite directions based upon which language you're trying to look up the word. So if you're trying to find, just for example, the word Yod Hey Wahe, A lot of times they don't give it to you in the dictionary because they don't like to give the name of the Most High, but they probably just give you the name of the Lord. However, you have to look this up. You will go to the Y or the Yod section. If you're looking for something that starts with a Y and you know that something starts with a Yod, which is a Y, and you want to just kind of find the English word, then you would go back and transliterate back in English from the opposite direction, which, those would be two books that I would start with for your Hebrew reading practice. I will tell everyone, there are certain apps that are cool that are on your phone, such as one that myself and I believe Zaken Yaquab has already utilized and shared with everyone. If you have an Android phone, the app is going to be MySword. And if you have Apple phone, it's going to be eSword. And what you can do is you can go to certain words and you can look them up. So if you go if you have your Hebrew reader and then you take the app on your phone and you go to the same chapter, you can look at the word and it's going to give you the numerical location of where it will be in a concordance. So another thing that's good for everyone to have is some type of concordance, a lexicon. So one that I utilize is a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. And I would prefer or would suggest that everyone get more accustomed with using books than apps, because there will come a time when these electronic devices will not be present. And so it's better to be accustomed with your books. For certain teaching, when I go certain places, I have certain Bibles that I'm more comfortable with because I know how to get through the pages quicker. I know where the scriptures is located better. Even if I don't remember book, chapter, and verse, definitely I can know where it falls in my Bible. So that's why it's good to get accustomed to have your preferred Bible that you study from, along with other study material and other Bibles, but have the one that you really know how to get through. Get you the Hebrew reader, the Ben Yehuda, and a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance to study, because what these electronics is doing is dumbing us down and making us lazy and making us dependent upon, whereas you won't always have those devices. So as men and women of the Most High, it'll be good for us to be able to get through our Bible with having it, so that we share this information with others. But the electronic devices are good for a temporary source of learning quickly. So did anyone get that posted in the? Okay, yes, thank you, Bot Tennyson. Thank you so much. All right, so I hope that helped, Akoti.
Yes, Toda. That was a good help, good information. Thank you.
Shah Shamar, the floor is yours.
Oh yeah, I just had a quick question about two of the letters. Chet, that kind of looks like hey. So that on the the Shia has like batch, the CH and batch, and then also we have chaff, which has batch, the CH. So even though they both say batch, they're pronounced a different way.
Okay, one more time. You said what now?
Okay, so on the sheet with the letters and the sounds, it has chet, CHET. Okay, and the sound it has, the CH and batch.
No, that's not. It's Bach, like the composer Bach, because
Bach,
yeah.
Bach. Okay, yeah, and then you have chaff. It has the same, Bach. Those are the same sound.
Sort of yes and no. They're so closely related, it depends on who's pronouncing it, right? So when you were saying the throaty sound is going to be ket. Ket is the throaty sound. It actually represents that CH, and it's a hard sound. It's a throaty sound, as in Bach, okay? And the kaf is going to be the K sound. So they put the CH, but it's really not that hard of a sound. So it's just like K as in kitty. It makes a softer sound, but they just sometimes say that it makes that CH sound, which represents a K, but generally it represents a K in translation. Whereas in the kaf, or not shlika, the ket makes more of the CH, or that hard throaty sound, which is and a lot of times when you hear us pronounce the words, a lot of times if I'm in somebody's face, I don't even pronounce some of the throaty sound, just because you don't want anything to come out of your mouth while you're trying to sound these hard letters out. So a lot of times they sound similar because A lot of people pronounce the ket sort of as a K also in pronunciation, as not to, be too hard with it. So one of them is more throaty than the other.
Okay, yeah, because I remember pronouncing them the same way.
Mhm. Yeah, like I said, but they still almost make the same thing. Because if you say bak or you say baka, baka, you kind of hear how the bak, that's the CH, baka is the kaf.
Oh,
because it's just a K. You see what I'm saying?
dang. Okay.
Okay. All right. So again, in closing, Mishbakar, the vocabulary words for today is tefillah. Tefillah is prayer. And prayer means to, when you look up tefillah in the Ibrit, it's going to tell you to intercede. To intercede is going to tell you to supplicate. And when you look the word supplicate up, it is to ask the Most High humbly, to pray unto the Most High humbly, which is giving us the word itself for tefillah, meaning that when we do pray or speak to the Most High, we're supposed to have a humble mannerism. The other word that we covered was the root word. Also for tefillah, one of the words is also intercession. Intercession or intercessory prayer is when you're praying on the behalf of someone else. And the word tefillah comes from the root word palau, which is pray. And so pray also tells you to supplicate or to pray or to ask of the Most High. And so what we was covering today is in our cultural portion is that it was customary and it was cultural for our ancient forefathers to pray unto the Creator. And so that's why we did this for our Hebrew portion and for our Hebrew vocabulary to add the word tefillah and the word palau to your Hebrew vocabulary and your Hebrew understanding, and also to our English understanding, so that when we would pray to the Most High, we will know the ruach and the humility that we're supposed to come in. All right. I see your hand up, Nathan. You can try it one more time. What you got for me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. That's it.
Oh, that was it. All right. Yes, we can hear you now. You got it fixed. Hallelujah. All right, Mishbakar. I give all praise, honor, esteem to the Most High. Total Rabbah for tuning in for this cultural portion. I'm now about to start my screen share, and I'm yielding the floor to Zakane Yaquab as he brings forth the 2-minute warning for today.